What if I told you that the greatest treasure in history was never made of gold? That the legendary Philosopher's Stone, the alchemical secret whispered through the halls of ancient mystery schools, was never about material wealth at all? For centuries, seekers have pursued this elusive artifact, believing it held the power to transform base metals into gold and grant immortality. But what if this was merely a veil, a riddle designed to conceal a far deeper truth? The real meaning of the Philosopher's Stone is not found in the crucibles of medieval alchemists, nor in the vaults of kings who sought it. It is hidden in plain sight, scattered across sacred texts, hermetic writings, and the esoteric traditions of the world. Those who understood its true nature spoke in symbols, encoded their wisdom, and left behind cryptic clues, knowing that only the worthy would decipher them. Today, we embark on that journey. In this video, we will unravel the mysteries surrounding the Philosopher's Stone, exploring its origins, its deeper meaning, and most importantly, how it applies to your own spiritual transformation. This is not just an ancient legend. It is a living truth waiting to be uncovered. And by the end of this journey, you will see why the real Philosopher's Stone is closer than you ever imagined. The origins of the Philosopher's Stone stretch back through the corridors of time, appearing in the sacred texts of multiple civilizations. Though most associated with medieval alchemy, its roots go much deeper, to the mystery schools of Egypt, the hermetic teachings of ancient Greece, and even the spiritual traditions of the East. The Emerald Tablet, a cryptic hermetic text attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, is one of the earliest known sources to speak of a substance that could transmute base metals into gold. But was it truly a physical stone? Or was this transformation symbolic? The famous phrase inscribed upon the tablet reads, "That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below," to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. To the uninitiated, this may seem like mere poetic mysticism, but to those who understand, it reveals a profound secret. The Philosopher's Stone was never about altering metal. It was about altering consciousness. The ancient Egyptians had their own version of this concept. They spoke of the Ba and Ka, aspects of the soul that could be unified through spiritual refinement, resulting in an immortal being, what they called the Akh. In the East, the Taoists pursued a similar path through the practice of internal alchemy, seeking the refinement of the inner elixir rather than the creation of a physical substance. In the medieval period, alchemists such as Nicholas Flamel and Paracelsus kept the tradition alive, writing in obscure metaphors and veiled allegories. Flamel, often rumored to have discovered the Philosopher's Stone, left behind images of mystical transformations rather than chemical formulas. Paracelsus, on the other hand, spoke of an inner alchemy, suggesting that the true work of transformation was not in the laboratory but within the soul. The great secret of alchemy was this: lead was not just lead, and gold was not just gold. The process of transmutation was not about changing one metal into another. It was about refining the self. The lead represented the base nature of man, his unconscious, unrefined state. The gold symbolized enlightenment, wisdom, and the perfected soul. This is why the Philosopher's Stone was also called lapis philosophorum, the stone of the wise. It was not an object to be possessed, but a state of being to be achieved. But how does this transformation actually work? And what did the alchemists leave behind to guide us? In the next section, we will dive deeper into the real process of alchemy, the journey from lead to gold, from darkness to illumination, and how you can begin this transformation in your own life. Core Explanation, Part 1. To understand the real meaning of the Philosopher's Stone, we must first understand alchemy itself. Most people think of alchemy as an early form of chemistry, an attempt to turn lead into gold. But true alchemists were not mere chemists. They were mystics, philosophers, and seekers of divine wisdom. The alchemical process was never just about metals. It was a grand metaphor for the transformation of the soul. The lead they sought to refine was not the dull, gray metal found in the earth, but the heavy and impure state of human consciousness. And the goal they pursued was not material wealth, but spiritual enlightenment, the ultimate perfection of the self. The 3 stages of alchemical transformation. True alchemy follows a process that mirrors deep spiritual evolution. The ancient alchemists divided their work into 3 main phases, each symbolizing a stage of inner transformation. Nigredo, blackening, the death of the old self. The journey begins with destruction. Nigredo represents the breaking down of the ego, the dissolution of the old self, and the confrontation of one's shadow. This is the stage of deep introspection, where illusions are burned away and we are forced to face our own darkness. This is why many spiritual traditions speak of a dark night of the soul. It is the necessary destruction before rebirth. Without this phase, true transformation cannot occur. Albedo, whitening, purification of the soul. Once the old self is dissolved, purification begins. This is the stage of cleansing, where the mind and spirit become clearer, lighter, and more refined. Symbolized by the color white, it is often associated with water, the element of purification. During this phase, the alchemist, or the spiritual seeker, begins to replace ego-driven desires with higher wisdom. Meditation, contemplation, and self-discipline play crucial roles here. This is the process of aligning oneself with truth and preparing for the final transformation. Rubedo, reddening, the birth of the Philosopher's Stone. The final stage is enlightenment, the moment of spiritual completion. Rubedo is symbolized by red, the color of life, energy, and divine fire. It is the stage in which the purified soul achieves unity with the divine. This is the moment the alchemist achieves the great work, magnum opus. It is the birth of the Philosopher's Stone, not as a physical object, but as a state of being. The one who attains this transformation is no longer bound by the limitations of the material world. They have become something entirely new. But this path is not an easy one. It requires more than just knowledge. It demands a deep commitment to inner work, self-discipline, and an unshakable will to face the unknown. In the next section, we will explore the deeper secrets hidden within this process, why the alchemists use symbols like the phoenix, the Ouroboros, and the sacred marriage, and how these symbols reveal the most profound aspects of the Philosopher's Stone. Core explanation, part 2. The process of alchemy was never explained in plain language. Instead, the alchemists encoded their wisdom in symbols, metaphors, and paradoxes, protecting their secrets from the uninitiated while guiding those who were ready for the journey. To truly understand the Philosopher's Stone, we must decode these symbols, for they reveal the hidden aspects of transformation. The phoenix, death and rebirth. One of the most powerful symbols in alchemy is the phoenix, the mythical bird that burns itself to ashes only to rise again, renewed and immortal. This mirrors the negredo stage of alchemy, the death of the old self. Every true transformation requires destruction first. The ego must burn, the false identities must dissolve, and the attachments to the material world must be released. Spiritual traditions across the world speak of this symbolic death. In ancient Egypt, the Bennu bird, similar to the phoenix, represented the eternal cycle of death and resurrection. In Christianity, the crucifixion of Christ mirrors this principle, death before divine rebirth. In Hinduism, Shiva, the destroyer, plays a vital role in clearing the old to make way for the new. This is why many who seek enlightenment experience great suffering or crisis before awakening. The fire must consume the impurities before the gold can emerge. The Ouroboros, the infinite cycle of transformation. Another powerful symbol in alchemy is the Ouroboros, the serpent swallowing its own tail, forming a perfect circle. It represents eternity, the unity of all things, and the endless cycle of transformation. But deeper still, the Ouroboros teaches us a profound secret. The journey of transformation is not linear. It is cyclical. We do not transform just once. We must continually refine ourselves again and again, like a snake shedding its skin. This is why true wisdom is never a single moment of realization, but an ongoing process. Each time we think we have reached enlightenment, we realize there is another level, another veil to lift. The Philosopher's Stone is not just found, it is continually forged. The sacred marriage, the union of opposites. Many alchemical texts refer to the coniuntio oppositorum, the sacred marriage of opposites. This is the fusion of masculine and feminine energies, sun and moon, fire and water. It is the principle found in the rubedo stage of alchemy, the final transformation. But what does this really mean? In esoteric traditions, the ultimate realization is that duality is an illusion. Light and dark, creation and destruction, spirit and matter, they are not separate but aspects of the same whole. The Philosopher's Stone is the moment when this truth is fully realized. This is why ancient mystics, from Taoist sages to Sufi poets, spoke of inner balance as the key to enlightenment. The alchemist who attains the stone no longer sees opposites in conflict but in harmony. They become whole, and in that wholeness, they achieve mastery over their reality. But how do we apply this wisdom in our lives? How can we walk the path of the alchemist and begin the real transmutation of the self? In the next section, we will explore practical techniques for embodying the Philosopher's Stone, methods for purifying the mind, refining the soul, and unlocking your highest potential. Practical application. Now that we've uncovered the deeper meanings behind the Philosopher's Stone, how can you begin to walk the alchemical path in your own life? What steps can you take to begin your transformation from lead to gold? The Philosopher's Stone is not an artifact waiting to be found in a distant cave or a treasure chest hidden in ancient ruins. It is inside you, waiting to be unearthed through the alchemy of your own soul. This process may not be easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. Here are practical techniques you can use to begin refining your inner self and moving toward the perfection of the Philosopher's Stone. 1. Embrace the shadow, the work of Negredo. The first stage of alchemy, Negredo, requires a deep confrontation with your own darkness. This is not about judging yourself for your imperfections, but acknowledging them with open eyes. To transform, you must first become aware of the impurities that cloud your mind and spirit. Technique: shadow work meditation. Set aside time for a meditation dedicated to facing your shadow. Sit in silence, close your eyes, and allow yourself to confront the emotions, thoughts, or memories you've hidden from your own awareness. Ask yourself, what fears or insecurities am I avoiding? Where do I feel shame or guilt? What parts of myself have I disowned? Without judgment, simply observe these aspects. Write them down and reflect on them. By acknowledging your shadows, you begin the process of dissolving them, just as the alchemist dissolves base metals in the fire. 2. Purify the mind. The work of albedo. Once you have faced the darkness, the next step is purification. In the alchemical process, this involves cleansing the soul of confusion, ego, and attachments. The goal is to align yourself with higher wisdom and truth. Technique: the purification of thought. One way to begin this purification is by practicing mindfulness and conscious awareness of your thoughts. Start each day with a short meditation where you consciously release negative or limiting beliefs. Focus on cultivating positive affirmations that reflect your highest aspirations. These might include: I am connected to divine wisdom. I am a vessel for light and peace. My thoughts are clear and my mind is pure. Engage in practices like journaling to help clarify your thoughts. Writing helps to sift through mental clutter, revealing deeper truths. Just as the alchemist uses fire to purify the metals, you can use meditation to refine your inner world. 3. Cultivate inner union. The work of rubedo. Rubedo, the final stage of alchemy, is the moment when the opposites within us unite. The goal is to balance the masculine and feminine energies within you, to unite the mind with the heart, the material with the spiritual. Technique: the sacred marriage ritual. To facilitate this inner union, you can perform a simple but powerful ritual. Stand in front of a mirror and visualize the two sides of yourself: the masculine aspect, which embodies action, logic, and will; the feminine aspect, which embodies intuition, receptivity, and emotion. Imagine these energies merging, flowing together in perfect harmony, and feel their union within you. Allow this visualization to expand, feeling both the strength of the masculine and the grace of the feminine come together as one. With this balance, you can reach your highest potential, becoming the Philosopher's Stone itself. 4. Transmute daily challenges. The work of transformation. Alchemy is not just about grand, mystical moments. It is also about everyday life. The real work of transformation happens through the challenges and obstacles you face each day. Technique: transformative perspective. When challenges arise, view them as opportunities for alchemical transformation. Each difficulty is a chance to refine your character, purify your intentions, and unite opposites. The person who can see every hardship as part of their spiritual refinement is already on the path to becoming the Philosopher's Stone. Try this. Next time you face a difficult situation, take a deep breath and remind yourself, this is an opportunity for me to transform. Shift your perspective, and instead of feeling frustrated or defeated, focus on the lesson hidden within the challenge. As you begin these practices, remember that the path of the alchemist is not one of instant gratification. Transformation takes time, patience, and consistency. But with each step, you move closer to the true meaning of the Philosopher's Stone. You are refining yourself, not just to change your outer world, but to transform your inner being into something more luminous, more whole. The Philosopher's Stone is not a distant goal. It is a living, breathing part of you that you are gradually bringing into full existence. The journey itself is as sacred as the destination. In the next section, we will conclude our exploration with a call to action that will inspire you to continue walking this path of inner alchemy. As we conclude this exploration of the Philosopher's Stone, it is clear that the true meaning of this ancient symbol goes far beyond the idea of a material substance. The Philosopher's Stone is not something that can be found in the hidden corners of the earth, nor is it a mere object to possess. It is a state of being, a spiritual achievement, a transformation of the soul that transcends time and space. You have learned that the Philosopher's Stone represents the alchemical process of refining yourself, of turning the base aspects of your consciousness into the pure gold of enlightenment. The stages of nigredo, albedo, and rubedo map the journey of self-discovery, self-purification, and spiritual union. You've seen how ancient symbols like the phoenix, the Ouroboros, and the sacred marriage reveal deeper truths about the nature of transformation. But the real question is, will you begin the work? The path of the alchemist is not for the faint of heart. It is a path that requires courage, patience, and dedication. But it is also the path to profound wisdom, inner peace, and ultimate mastery over your own life. Every challenge you face, every shadow you confront, and every moment you choose to purify your mind brings you one step closer to becoming the Philosopher's Stone yourself. Remember, the stone is not something you can seek externally. It is already within you. You are the alchemist, and the work begins now. Through conscious effort and spiritual discipline, you can refine your mind, your heart, and your soul until they shine with the brilliance of gold. So take the first step. Embrace the darkness, purify your thoughts, and unite your inner energies. With time, you will begin to feel the subtle but powerful shift within you. The alchemical process is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong journey, a sacred art that continually transforms you into something greater. As you move forward, remember this truth. The Philosopher's Stone is not a distant, unattainable treasure. It is the key to unlocking your true potential, your inner divinity, and your highest self. The transformation is yours to claim. May you walk this path with grace, courage, and an unwavering commitment to your own awakening. Would you like any further assistance